So today I am going to share with you the most critical steps you need to take well before you start or buy a business to ensure that you pick the right business that can actually give you the life that suits you the most. Hi, it's Patricia here. I'm with Open for Business, and I help employed professionals and job-seeking professionals who are not happy with their job or career. I help them transition to a new career that gives them greater income and more freedom. And what kind of career would that be? Well, it's the career of someone who owns their livelihood by being the main decision maker in a small business. So here is actually the challenge for anyone who is never owned a business and who is considering becoming a career entrepreneur. The challenge is when we start or buy a business, the challenge is to actually pick the right one for us, because we really don't know until we are in that business. We don't know what it's going to be like. And you're probably thinking, duh, that's obvious. And you're right. It's obvious, but I have to tell you, in the past 30 years of my career in the trenches of America's Main Street business, I cannot count how many people I've met who were excited to jump into launching a business idea or buying a business, and who regretted it later because they realized too late, after they spent time and money, they realized they hated their life as the owner of that business. And typically there are two reasons for this. Number one, it can be because their income expectations are not met or not met soon enough. Number two, it could also be because they didn't really like their day-to-day life as owner of the business that they picked. And both of these actually, they're unfortunate outcomes that could be avoided by exercising the right due diligence before we get involved with any kind of business. So what is the right due diligence to exercise before you jump into business ownership from a career working for someone else to becoming your own boss? It has two parts. The first part is to pick a business that can deliver the life that you want. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. There is a process for that. The second one is to launch a business on a solid foundation from the beginning, from before you open it, so that you can eventually grow it and grow the revenues and get to profits as fast as possible. And I'll discuss this, but in future videos. For today, the question is, how do you pick the right business for you? The one that can deliver a life that suits you, you and your family. So there are four critical steps you need to take to pick the right business. And here they are. Number one, it begins with you. So you need to decide, way before you know what kind of business you're going to open, you need to decide the kind of life you want the business to facilitate for you. It's a little bit of introspection, but it's so worth it. And for that, you need to have clarity on 5 aspects of your life. I call it the Life Plus that you want with that business. And it's an acronym that stands for lifestyle, income, flexibility or freedom, equity, plus your dearest milestones that are on your bucket list that you want to accomplish before you die. So first of all, let's look at lifestyle. The lifestyle is basically how you spend your time when you work and when you don't work. Just that alone, is it important for you to be home with your kids at night and have dinner every night? Some business will allow you to do that, others not so much, especially at the beginning. So the lifestyle, when you work and when you don't work, that's important to understand. The income, you need 2 numbers for that. The income you need now, because you need to know how much money you need to keep the lights on in your life so you can budget the right amount of working capital until your business is profitable. So we talked about lifestyle income. The next one is the flexibility and freedom you want, the location that you want to be working from, and where you want your business to be. Do you want a brick and mortar location so people come to your business? Or do you want an office location, or maybe a home office location, or maybe a mobile business where you go to people's businesses or houses to provide the services and products that you intend to provide. That's important to know because it's going to determine what your life is going to be, the location of your work. Or do you want a business that you can operate from anywhere in the world? So that's an important question. The next question is the equity that you might want to build in a business, because that's something you can't do with most jobs, is build equity with a business that you can maybe someday sell or pass on to your kids. So, what is your intention here? Do you want to sell that business and make $500,000 with a sale, or $1 million, or $5 million, or $10 million? When do you want to sell it? That is going to help you identify the business that can do that, but also help you build it in a way that you can get to those goals. And then the last one are your plus milestones. These are the things on your bucket list that you just don't want to be at the end of your life and think, I wish I had done this. I wish I had traveled the world with my kids for 6 months at a time. I wish I had sailed the world. I wish I had gone back to school, accomplished an academic goal. I wish I had accomplished this other athletic goal that's important to me, or write a book, publish a book, etc. What is important to you? What are those milestones that you just want to get done? So your life plus. Now, the next step is step number 2. Besides the life plus, you want to know what are your strengths, and you want to align yourself with a business that needs those strengths, because your strength as a professional, as a business owner, as someone who creates a business and builds one, your strengths are your competitive advantage. And that is going to make your success much faster if you pick a business that needs the strength that you have. The next one is your purpose. Your big purpose. Simon Sinek calls it, he wrote the book Start With Why, calls it the why, your big why. I call it your purpose. It's not your passion. It's something much bigger. It's something that makes your life, if you accomplish that, if you follow your purpose, makes your life much more satisfying. Some people find their purpose in a career, and others, like us, we find our purpose by starting a business that allows us to serve that purpose. And that's when our business becomes the how to our why. So your purpose is important. Then there's one last step you need. That's number 4. That step is the path to business ownership that you're going to pick. There are 4 paths to business ownership. Number 1, you can start a business from an idea and create an independent business startup. Number 2, you can buy a business that's for sale, that someone has already built. Number 3, you can develop a turnkey concept like a franchise or business opportunity that has its own sets of pros and cons. And number 4, you can buy a turnkey concept that is already developed, that also has a different set of pros and cons. So each one of these paths is different, and they have pros and cons, and neither one of them is better than the other. If somebody tells you one is better, it's probably because they have a vested interest in telling you that. None of them are better. I've met people who are super successful in any of these paths, and also people who didn't succeed. The key here is to pick the path that is best for you, based on your priorities, based on your goals, based on how you like to work and what you want to achieve in the next 5 and 10 years. So pick the right path for you right now. And that's the 4th step. Okay, so I hope this was helpful. This is what you need to do. Understand what your life plus is, and then envision what it's going to be like with a business that will facilitate it. Number 2, understand your strengths and pick the business that needs those strengths. Understand your purpose and turn your business into the how to your purpose, and how to your why. And number 5, that was number 3. Number 4, pick the right path to business ownership for you. Okay, I hope this was helpful. I'll be posting new videos like this to provide you tips and tools on how to start the right business so that you can build a life you love. If you want a deep dive into this, I invite you to explore this membership called the Business Owner Success Society. It's called BOSS, and it guides you to pick the right business for you, first of all, but also to launch it on a solid foundation so you can get to profit faster. And that is by showing you how to research, how to vet, how to plan your business with a business plan, and then how to launch it with the right steps. So if you're interested in this, feel free to explore. I'll post a link in the comments. If you are further interested in becoming one of the next 20 founding members for the membership, just register and then we'll let you know as soon as the doors to BARS open again. Cheers to living a life you love. Take care.